So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and reinforcements to my glorious sharp practice Anglo-Portuguese stroke Anglo anything army that I play with on a regular basis. So this is my latest project finished. This is some Portuguese infantry dressed up as Cacador of the line. Cacadors had brown uniforms, as you can see these guys have, or hopefully you can see these guys have. The Fusilieri types had blue. I've got a unit of 24 bluey ones, and I just wanted something a bit different. From time to time it's nice to have a bit of variety. So this box I picked up, God, I can't remember, a long time ago in some sale or other, and so I've just painted them up as Cacadors, and I'm quite pleased how they've come out. Again, use the use the wash heavily, gets rid of all the unseen defects, and I've based them up. This time we're using green flock and put them on the movement bases that I picked up the other week, and I think the effect's quite good. I'm quite pleased with how they've turned out. Certainly on mass they look pretty good. Just need to maybe do a little bit of work on the flags. I can see some of the tin foil showing through, so maybe just need to get a touch of paint on those. But overall, I'm saying they're done. Quite pleased with those. Cacadors were quite effective light infantry in sharp practice. Yeah, they're okay. But as I say, just it's something different to field. And as I said on many occasions, I like the variety you get in games like sharp practice and others. And well, some of the historical situation with something like Napoleonic Wars, having all different nationalities, different coloured uniforms, different styles. I think that's just so cool. Really, really like it. So there you go. That's the Portuguese Cacadors done. So I briefly showed this one on another video I did about weathering, when I was using the weathering powders from Tamiya. I think I missaid it, I miscommunicated it. This is actually a Turan, a Hungarian medium tank. It's a 3D printed model. I got it from Paint and Glue Miniatures, who do some brilliant 3D models. I've got quite a few in my collection now. They're cheap. This model now is £9. I think at the time he was doing them for about a third off as an introductory offer, and I picked it up as much as anything else to use up postage, I think, if I remember rightly. But it's been sitting there waiting to be painted up. It's okay. I think it's an alright model. I mean, the tank itself is a pretty ugly machine, so it doesn't help, but I think it's come out alright. I tried to use the Dunkelgeld base colour, and then use sort of what I've seen to be Hungarian style camo pattern over the top of that. I tried to use some of the weathering powders, but it didn't really adhere to it, so yeah, that'll do. I don't know how often I use it, but for £6 I thought that wasn't bad at all. I also shared these pair of Russian T-34-76s, set up to be early 1944 variants of the tank. These are Warlord model kits. Yeah, these fellas here. And it's a dead simple kit to make. Really easy. Even a moderately competent modeler can make them pretty well. I'm not sure about these boxes on the back, but that's what they're modelled as, so they go there. I think I prefer them with those sort of big oil drums on the side, but they didn't come in this kit, so I suppose I could look out and get some and just put them on myself. But they're done. I think they're quite good. I'm quite pleased with how they've come out. I used some of the weathering powders as I showed in a video. Jury's out on them. I'm not sure they give a huge amount more to the average painter like me, but to a good painter probably do. So more reinforcement for the Russian horde that is growing slowly but surely. So quite pleased with them, looking good. So this is the start of my Hungarian horde. Really pleased how these have come out. They're not actually Hungarian. These are from a line of figures. I'll put the name down below. I've forgotten who it is. From Polish Uprising. They were a Kickstarter some time ago. I saw them, never bought them, and then when I was looking around for just a bit of variety to mix in with my Hungarians, I saw them and I thought, you know what, they'll do nicely. So this is the first few I've done. It's a lady there. I've put the rifle on just to include her. This young chap here, because the Hungarians have a unit which is boys and men, and I thought, well, if I get a couple of very small boy type figures to put in with the old grizzled veterans, that will symbolize that quite well. This is a Polish officer, but you know, Polish, it could be persuaded to be Hungarian. I just thought it was a lovely figure. And this sniper, I'm really pleased with this sniper. I think it's just such an awesome figure. I just had to have him. So those are my first 4, and you can see I've also put them on those bases that I was showing in another video. Really pleased how the effect has come out, you know, because these guys are going to be, the armies I'm going to produce are probably going to be either from Stalingrad, where the Hungarians fought on the edge of Stalingrad. They weren't engaged in the main city, but they were involved covering the flanks, or I'll use them as a late war defense of Budapest type army. I'm not sure which yet, but just thought the variety's there. So I've got a load of Hungarians. I'm getting a bit distracted from my Russians to paint Hungarians, but really pleased, very pleased with how these bases come out, looking very good indeed. So here's my first proper Hungarian squad. So this was the Warlords, what's this, Hungarian, whatever they're called, division, that one. I'll show it. That division, there we go. And I bought, so yeah, it just shows Dom's complete lack of any kind of willpower. I, some time ago, signed up for a Kickstarter from a company called Dog Tag Games, I think Dog Tag Miniatures, who was doing Hungarian troops. They looked really good, and at that stage nobody else was doing Hungarians, and I thought, yeah, given my odd preference for oddity troops, I'd go and subscribe to them or sign up for them. But it's taken a long time. They're overdue to come. Meanwhile, Warlords started to do some nice Hungarians, and other people have as well, and so the itch got scratched, especially because Warlords were doing their summer sale, and I got all these, I got several boxes of those Hungarian figures for 25% off, and I just thought, sod it, right, I'm going for it. And I've been going to start interspersing them with some spare Germans I've got, probably a few spare Russians I've got, and as you saw, some Poles that I've got, just to sort of add a bit of variety and difference to the figures. And I painted up this first squad, and to me, I think these are some of the nicest job painting wise I've done. I'm not a painter. I'm really not a figure painter. People make some very nice comments about my figures when I'm showing them, and you know, I look at other people's standard and I think, you know, no, mine are distinctly wargaming standard figures. They do the job, and that's always been my main driver with painting, is to get the figures on the table to play with. But these, I'm really pleased with them. I took a bit more time with them. I used a bit of contrast paints, which I haven't used before. And so much so I've just bought a whole load more contrast paints because I was really quite impressed with them. And I really enjoyed painting these. I've done them in a sort of ramshackle variety of uniforms because there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of uniformity or agreement on what Hungarian uniforms were. Some people say they were brown, some say khaki, some say they had a lot of German equipment, some, you know, but. So my aim is to do late war Hungarian, so they would have had anything they could just get their hands on, the poor souls. So that's what I've done, a mixed bag of uniforms. I've used Russian brown, I've used German grey, field grey, I've used khaki, various other things in different amounts on different parts of the uniforms, and I think the effect is really quite good. I'm really pleased with it. This is obviously the rifle company. There's the submachine LMG there, and there's loader there. Guy with a Faust. Really like this guy here with his rifle. I think that's really cool. There's the NCO there with his automatic. I don't think it's a submachine gun. I know it's an automatic rifle. So really pleased with how these have turned out, and again put them on the new bases that I got from Pocket Scenics, wasn't it? Really nice. I sawed them off their bases. They all come on a base, these figures. They're metal figures, and so I used a blade to cut through, saw through and remove them. This is the next load getting ready to go. And just cut through and then super glued them onto the bases that I'd painted already, and I just think I'm really pleased with the effect. I think it comes off really nicely, so can't wait to finish off some more. I've got another load of figures here to paint. I've got a support group or two. I've also got some airborne troops that I also bought in the same sale. I've also sat around here somewhere. I've got some German late war infantry, which I'm going to convert into Hungarians. So yeah, should be a relatively quick job. And then then of course the Kickstarter lot will arrive. I'll have even more. But hey, yeah, you can never have too many figures, can you? Can you? Anyway, hope you like this quick look through of my latest projects. I'm really pleased with how the Hungarians did come together. I thought the tanks came out okay. I'm not sure about the Toldi or Turan or whatever it is, the Hungarian tank, but the infantry I'm really pleased with. I think they've come out really well. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below what you're working on. I know a lot of people do these sort of work in progress type videos, and it's always fascinating to me to see what everyone's working on. Inspires me to keep going and doing more. So keep them coming, and enjoy gaming whatever you're doing, and I'll see you again soon. This is Dom signing out.